Have you ever wondered if there was more to life than what meets the eye? The meaning of your own life? Surely there must be more to life than this. Come and join young minds journeying together, finding meaning in life.
Hi guys, welcome back to Food for Thought. Our topic today is the beauty of Youth Month and what it consists of. I am Kosnati.
I'm Nikita.
I'm Craig.
I'm Pelisa.
I'm Monsisa.
May we please start with a prayer.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the
Holy Spirit.
uNkulunkulu namandla, uNkulunkulu nothando, uNkulunkulu nomusa. Baba siza kuwe phambi kwakho namhlanje sicela ukusehlisela umoya oqothileyo usikhanyisele ngesipho esidiskasa namhlanje. Baba Nkosi ngamandla akho siyabonga konke osisenzele khona nokuthi usilethile la ngegama kaYesu ngidala nomucileyo uzolokha madinisi Jesu Kristu uzolokha yami.
So guys, as you know, it is Youth Month and this is supposed to be a month that we're just celebrating the whole generation being young, our privileges and the fun things to do. But there are a lot of negatives. I find like there are a lot of negatives more than there are positives because of just like everything that we are consuming through media and also just at school and interpersonal. Do you guys feel the same way? Because I'm not sure. I feel like I'm being delusional, but like I'm trying to not be like too negative.
Well, on my side, I think I feel just like you, in the sense that I feel like we are victims of our privileges. Like what is supposed to be good for us, we use it for the wrong reasons. In such a sense that we don't always in such a sense that we end up seeing the side effects more than the positives, which the same things which they provide us with, they're supposed to bring unto us. So I think as someone who is still in his youth, I would say being a youth is a great thing if you know how to be responsible about or for your own self and how to look after your own self and not get carried away in all these negatives which are going on around. I don't know what others think.
Like as the youth, I think, do we know the privilege we have? Or just city, oh, says Konala, do you know the struggles our ancestors had to go through? Or city, oh, or whatnot. And I think it's also the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And the information that we the youth need is I won't say buried deep within the pages of books we have never read, but also in shows we have never watched. Come to think of this, there's a TikTok video I saw like a few months back where they say, so guys, vele uHector Peterson wayeyaphi ngeyouth esikoleni ngoba kwakuyiholide. Like abaya, it's a joke, but khombisa khona ukuthi asifundisekile, even though we know, but then how can we make a joke of something so important? So come to think of it, like a youth is stuck on the wrong side of social media and the internet. Like we have shows put in place to educate us, the youth and the younger generation, but we don't watch them. And we find that these shows have low ratings and they end up being cancelled. The shows that are put in place to educate us, but we don't. And we end up gaslighting the very, very same things that are trying to educate us.
Yeah, true. In terms of the whole Hicks of Peterson thing, like, come on, guys. I mean, back then it wasn't a holiday. It became a holiday now to commemorate, Gonke and Loke that they've done for us this, for June 16. And then, I wanted to touch on a point that Craig had mentioned. We have in Kululego, but at the same time, what I want to touch on is that it goes hand in hand with Freedom Day. Like, we have the freedom and the young people, or the fact that we have free education. Education, exactly, which we take for granted. Like, for example, if there's something that we're being told in school, a rule, so our A, B, and C, if we don't like it, we strike, and then we destroy buildings. We want free education, but then these free buildings that were being destroyed, that's it has happened.
But I also feel as though like with everything that we have, we were groomed in such a way, we are very spoiled. I see born lama privileges. We feel as if we deserve it, whereas we just got here. Like we got on earth, we have no knowledge about what actually really happened in the past. We can watch movies, watch documentaries, but that's why it brings me back to my point with there's so much like negativity that everyone around us is like pretty much just brainwashed into thinking, Woodsy, no, I deserve A, B, C, D. All of a sudden, we're so entitled to things that people in the past didn't even get.
Okay, and not to be controversial, but as a matter of fact, the youth needs a leader. Wherever there is a youth group or a youth anything, there's supposed to be a youth leader. And as a nation, I think the one who leads the youth is the one who is still a youth and with power. And if you look at the youth who have power, we're talking about people who are like celebs, people who have got a larger platform. What are they presenting to us? Is it influencing us to be the good youth or the bad youth? Because now we figure out all they're doing is profiteering. Instead of educating, they're making money out of advertising the wrong stuff just because they're getting paid. And looking deeper into it, we're going to realize that the same thing which they present and they wanted to sell, we're going to realize that the youth who are getting the opportunities like getting funds for school like NSFAS and all that stuff, they're taking that money, which is supposed to be money for books, and they're drinking it all over the weekends,
And
spending and all that, and spending it on drugs, which ends up giving us the negative side of the youth, where we get youth who are broke, who are stealing. But at the beginning, before all that, we realized that they had the opportunity, they neglected it. What do they do when they feel like now they've grown up to be adults, but they had a chance to be youth? When they grow up, they realize they wasted their life. What do? We get criminals. So I feel like a youth, we deserve people who are deserving to be leaders.
And also, I'd like to touch on what Suntu said about having everything handed down to us. Like, asikwazi ukuhlupheka, and so ingane zamanje zikhuliswa ukuthi ziyatotoswa, and every time a child doesn't get what he or she wants, we are strike. We are ushisa ama-universities, ushisa ama-library, ma-government buildings, the very same things in Middle Seas. So how is the youth portrayed? So if it's not something sifunayo, siyashisa and destroy the very things we need.
I think it's also a matter of culture. Growing up, celebrating June 16 was something that was embedded in the youth. But you go out there, you watch Sarafina, you embody what they went through, you live it, you feel it, you go uniform, you go out there, and it says about June 16, it is about what the youth gave up for us. But now we just want to have fun so much that we've just forgotten where we come from and how much people have given up for us. And I think with Feast Must Fall, it's not only just a matter of us burning, or I think it's not that. I think it's to some extent, and I'm not trying to justify it in any way. It was a form of the last resort, because who really listens to black people, and like not black people, but to young black youth anymore? Because it's the young black youth who suffer the most when it comes to free education, unemployment, and the likes. They never really listened. No one really went out. No one publicized it. No, it wasn't on media. But free education is a must until they started burning. And yes, it has become a culture in its own. But now they just burn for the sake of burning. But at the beginning, I think it did put a light on what has been hidden for so long. But when oppression lasts for too long, it will lead people to do things that the society perceives as wrong. But it is the last resort, And it's painful because with June 16, they weren't burning, they weren't doing anything, they were being peaceful, but they were harmed. And we have so much given to us, and yet we still need to do the absolute worst just to be heard. And another thing is, maybe it is a matter of privilege, but nothing about looking upon down on the leaders where they are marketing in the wrong and doing this and that. We are leaders on our own. We have the power to make a change. We have the power to make the best of our own lives. I think it goes back to what we had discussed about our dreams being valid. The youth needs to start believing that. I think when we start believing in our own dreams, the validity of our dreams, what the people who came before us gave up for us to be where we are today, we'll really start understanding the privilege and the power we have, and we'll start utilizing it for good rather than for bad. We've achieved so many strides, and I feel like I'm blabbing now. We've achieved so many strides, things that the people who came before us couldn't. That was Alberto didn't care. Like it's not that they didn't care about mental health, but it wasn't something that was discussed. It's things that we are discussing now. We are making a change. First must fall. But those kids did a lot. But we should rubber bullets. A lot happened. There's so many stories that have not been told about it. So let's just try to not look at the negative that's in social media. There's so much good. There's so much that can build us and grow us that we can look at and see Zaykim. It's just about a matter of filtering what we focus on, and that could really grow us.
Yeah, that is indeed true. Just to add to his point, I would also love to say, basically, the youth have been neglected. That's why we're having things like protests and all that type of stuff, because we're going to realize as much as we say there is opportunities and all that stuff, a lot of people are graduating. A lot of people are doing great. A lot of people are doing their best to be heard out there. But at the end of the day, we still get the same results where we're not getting attention. We send CVs, no responses. But each and every single day, social media or news, we hear, okay, we're creating employment for the youth. We don't see the employment. So just to aid, I would say, even if we have there will always be good and bad. But for those doing good out there, I would say we should soldier on with the struggle, because at some point in time, there will be a breakthrough.
And I'd also like to add on what Craig said about employment. And also Wonka said something about believing in our dreams. One thing I've seen is that people no longer believe in their dreams because they know, what's the point of having a dream if I know it's not going to come true because of the opportunities out there. Sometimes we need to make our own opportunities.
Yeah, but it's kind of difficult making your own opportunities, because let's say, for instance, you have a really astonishing business idea. Okay, cool. You go to investors that seem to be helpful or want to be helpful. Next thing you know, umuntu usethathe business plan yakho useyenze yakhe. So I feel like there's a whole lot of fraudulent things that are happening at the top with the older generation, and they are somewhat interfering with the younger generation to also cause that division. So I would basically just say asizameni nathi ukusebenzisana and just be strong and gain this type of form of unity in a way, because like I said, there are opportunities out there. We are a bright generation, not just people of color, but also the other races, the youth specifically, have came to terms with, let's all be together and leave the discrimination aside and try and move forward. But I also feel like the adults are interfering and are just so involved in trying to divide. That's my problem. It just gives me the ick. But when you saw things such as the elections, where people were just some of the youth are not voting. The ones that were there voting, you could see they're serious and they're so determined about change. Me personally, I didn't vote because I was nah, there's no difference. If there's still more adults than kids, we're still gonna get the same result. Whereas if there's more of us at the forefront, like me, where I wasn't at the forefront saying, okay, I'm gonna vote for whoever I'm voting for, we are gonna make a difference if we take that chance, take that leap. But now, am I being a clown if I'm the only one that's only taking that chance? So I feel like more of these conversations need to be had, more of these meetings need to be created so we can join together, create businesses, create a safer environment for not only yourself individually, but even for the elderly people. They'll realize it later with Yazin. They were actually onto something. They're so advanced, we have technology, we're moving forward, we're just gaining all this companionship, and it's really good. I feel like we should have more conversations.
And also, I'd like to add to what you said about working together and being united.
Yeah.
You know, if instead of UTC,
Yeah.
if you actually work together,
We could be
yeah,
powerful.
if you
we
come
could be powerful.
together, like look at how many people have different skills,
Exactly.
talents,
Mhm.
like but then if you come together, it can be something great instead of
Even Africa as a whole.
No,
Yeah.
like if but then if you come together,
Yeah.
something great.
Yeah, and I believe that, you know, if we come together, good thing is that we could achieve, and you know, people would actually eventually stop undermining us as young people. And for the mere fact that we have activists who are young, you know, who actually have the platform to voice their opinions and to be heard on behalf of young people, that is just absolutely amazing. And to conclude, but also appreciate it if you guys were to, you know, comment down below and tell us how you guys are going to be spending your June 16, and also on what you guys think about our generation.
Just before we conclude, I would like to add to Mtogo's point where you are saying there's like the adults, they're not giving us a chance. So I would say, yeah, it is indeed true. There is competition even in the workplaces where you figure out that they don't want to give someone who's young a chance to learn. They want to be the ones who are forefront with everything. There is that situation, and it's really huge. So I'd just like to say to our parents out there, please don't compete with us. Teach us. That is my point.
I also just had one last thing to say about what you also said about being a clown and going to vote, just being the only one there who's a member of the youth. I think let's just stop shaming each other for the things we believe in, for our dreams, and going out there and trying to be seen for what really matters to us. When we stop shaming each other as the youth on Twitter, on social media or wherever, we'll start believing in each other. There will never be unity that we speak about right now if we don't believe in each other, if we don't build each other up, and if we don't mock each other. Because I think when someone mocks you for something that is your strength, it's because by a sabuti, once you utilize that, you'll be so much stronger than they are. It's the fear of how strong they might be also, but they know but you can be strong, so they know that they also can be strong. It's by a cyber. Let's stop using fear as something to inflict ubuhlungu and ukuyingabaza kwabanye abantu. Masikhosane sisakhane as the youth, and we'll see, but we can really achieve a lot.
So you guys have heard what we've got to say. Please let us know what you think about this topic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Okay. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father,
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Have you ever wondered if there was more to life than what meets the eye? The meaning of your own life? Surely there must be more to life than this. Come and join young minds journeying together, finding meaning in life.